Hello, people. Yes, I know. Better late than never. And I can't remember who put the comment in. I answered it because was it 3 to 4? I could just picture me trying to get on the bridge at 4 o'clock to go to the East Bay. So, unfortunately, no. I can't sit in traffic with my car because it's 22 years old and Alexa. So it's like, no, it wasn't enjoying being in stop and go traffic with the air conditioner. And on certain days this summer, you can't even like sit with the windows open and in traffic, which a lot of people do because yeah, air conditioners are a pain in the butt. But hey, let's see. What am I doing? What's my name? So yeah, I'm back. No cooties. Hi, sitting on defense. Who was it? Somebody pronounced your name correctly this morning, and I'm like, oh, I always say it defense, not defense. How are you? Hi, Fuzz. Thank you. Yes. I figured since I wasn't feeling good, I thought was cooties, wasn't cooties. It's middle-aged, being a middle-aged woman, that I would keep myself busy for the whole 3 days, which I pretty much did. And it's given me like a bump up to do a lot of things when Papa Cat's gone, because he'll be gone for a week. So, you know how that goes, and I have to make room for a love seat that's being shipped out here from South Carolina on the bottom floor, which is, whee! I think it's mostly my crafts. Everything that's there is something I wanted to do. When we moved, I pretty much cleaned the crafts out. So, but I have to go to the ophthalmologist to find out about my eyes first. Because, of course, there being pains in the butt. But that can be compared to the type 2 I got diagnosed with. So yeah, I'm just your usual mess. So, but cataracts does run in my family. So, which doesn't bother me because my brother had his lenses replaced like 10 or 15 years ago because he ruined his eyes with UV light. And I'm so glad that the club people actually figured that out and stopped doing UV light. That's hella dangerous. Look at that. I wonder if there's a tunnel in there. Oh, that was bad. Okay. Well, you got to learn from the source. It's like, yeah, my brain went to the pun completely. Even though the dad worked for one of those 3-letter acronyms. Actually, DOD. So it's funny that my brain automatically said defense. So, that's the Oakland part of me, I guess. I wonder if I'm going to get swatted. That was the weird thing. Sunday was weird. Everybody and their freaking brother got swatted. And it's like, please not me. Hi, Janelle H. Oh my God. Of course, and Jury. Thank you. What? Thank you. The real. See, I can't. Mine is always white. So, what was it? You guys actually knocked that person out. The real. Oh, hi, Sassafras. Hi, KT Peta. So, yeah, Marilyn was talking about something yesterday, how people got mad at who? Her. Because she was interrupting something important like a fundraiser. And it's like, we want to respect our people who post because it's polite, if you ask me, and Lord knows that I've interrupted with something completely fluff-bally. Yes, those things are still around. So it happens. Thank you, Fuzz, as usual. Did you ever get to see the beginning of my other stream last week where I had your moose? That's what I call him. Your moose on the steering wheel saying he was on a road trip too. Cool. Let's see. You are just beyond Fuzz. So yeah, I know, I was pausing. Maybe they don't know my car. We'll see. I went around a couple of times because parking today was a beast. So I assumed, and you know what happens when you do that, and I'm crooked. I don't know why. I might have to take the ring off my phone case. Might destroy my phone case. Okay, I can't remember which one it was. It was like I should use the first minute as editorial, but I got this idea. Oh, it's the one with the baby. It's the one with the gold vest and the baby. I think that's the thumbnail. So you can find that there. And because when I looked up, he was gone. Poof, in a puff of logic. It's weird. Oh, no, they do know my car. So you guys have figured out my car, huh? Oh, boring. Wouldn't you rather be hanging out with your family than having to worry about me driving by and finding a place to park? You know, you could do that instead and you'd probably enjoy yourself more than being paranoid. Well, I mean, everybody's paranoid, but you guys have that extra paranoia going on because people don't like you and don't like your club and don't want you here. For that and other reasons. We've got a helicopter up here. See? Everybody, I'm sorry. I wish you didn't have to do it. You're getting the hump. How many do we have? Oh crap, something's going on. I think we have 2 helicopters in the air and they usually don't fly above San Francisco. So there's probably a major accident on the bridge or on Golden Gate or something. Because those look like traffic helicopters. Don't you love that? Totally. That's funny. So many trolls in so little time. Maybe on Saturdays we'll come later because it's neat to see the parrots. And we were out here, me and Paula Cat were out here one Saturday and we got to see the parrots go all darn crazy. So, and I'm getting to use the community more. I'm learning. Still don't know how to stream on Prism from my schedule. I'm learning. I have to figure that one out. Hi, Tiki Meow. I always tell people that you're watching out for a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel for me. I was molested by a miniature Yorkie named Lola this morning when I was getting my nails done. She loves me. Hump day. Oh my God. Aren't you supposed to be working? So yeah, I had Lola all morning when I was getting my nails done, Papa Cat. She sat on my lap until I needed to sit far closer to her, you know who. Supposedly, because I'm on the middle-aged lady drugs, it's supposed to help with the brain fog because one of them is a patch that's like at hip level. So, yes. I know, I talk about her all the time. It's just like, you know, it's really neat. She goes and walks dogs and she's watching out for a pumpkin. The ones who know Gilded Age. And she's watching out a pumpkin for me. And it's like, I told Public, yeah, I go, don't worry, they're small. Don't you wish you were out there doing something? You know, it's like perfect weather here right now where you could walk around without a sweater if you really want to. You know, It would be so nice if you were just walking in the sunshine thinking about just what you could do today that didn't have to do with working 20 hours a day, or actually 16 hours a day, and then coming home and then devoting that, 2 hours maybe to your coursework and your laundry and, you know, cleaning up the house and doing whatever you do, since most of you are publics. So, and then sleeping. So obviously you don't have a lot of entertainment going on in your life unless you work as a clown or a balloon deliverer or something. So that's what you should think about, being a flower deliverer or something like that, because those people are usually pretty happy when they get flowers. That would be a better job than having to do a Grubhub or something, because I don't know what you guys do between the hours of 6 and 12. I don't know what time you guys get in here. I don't see that side of the clock very often. So, yes, we're total night people. It's like we're the only light in the commune. Thank you. See, people make me do it. Yes. Yes, I know. I used to, Janelle said, type 2, welcome to the club. We're slightly more fun than COS, but not much. Thank you, Tsuki. Yes, a cavalier. Whee! Yes, tell them we all say hi. Oh, you're fostering a kitten. Oh, Tsuki Meow, that's awesome. A couple friends of mine have put a cat, we call it a cattery. It's a room for because they foster cats. So it's a room to have the kittens in, so you don't have to worry about kittens all over the house. And that also makes them very nice cats. They were doing it in her chiropractic office because it was in the backyard. And their cats are very nice, and they teach them how to soft paw. So it's so neat. The supermodel occasionally uses her claws, but the tabby is soft paw central, so I don't know how. She doesn't even know how they do it. So the cat cafe, I doubt if it's even there anymore. It used to be in Oakland, and it's in one of the areas that's getting busted a lot, which doesn't make sense because it's near a brand new Kaiser Hospital. So that's my two girls are not foster fails. I took them from fostering. The last that they had before that, or was it after that? They were foster fails because they were all same litter, 3 of them, but they had problems with their eyes, and not major. You can't even tell anymore. But she, of course, fell in love with them because they took them to their anniversary hotel one night, and they gave them the suite, the presidential suite. So there are pictures of her in this gown holding a kitten. I'm sorry, it's deader. Yeah, they've just started doing it again after COVID, after everything else. And the last kitten they had to lose an eye, unfortunately, but he was adorable. He was real Maine Coon. That's what I call him, full-blown Maine Coon, and he was absolutely adorable and didn't even notice that his eye was gone. I mean, he still chased everybody in the house. And they couldn't foster fail, because if they did, they wouldn't let them, the place they were doing it at, because there are a bunch of places, wouldn't let them do it again. So they had to not foster fail him, and they gave him to some friends who were really close. Oh no, not all. I had a foster fail. That was my big one. She lasted 13 years, but she was a Navy base kitten that they found. So yeah, that's her cat now. I know you need to post pictures. I wonder, you probably can't. It'd be really neat if we could post pictures on our feeds or on our chats. That would be neat, but you know, that takes brains, and I don't necessarily have a lot of them. Don't you want to be out of there? Do you really like where you are? It's a org or a club. It is not one of those things that worships something and does good works for people. You guys don't worship the short man, and you don't do any good works for people. So unfortunately, all you're doing is making money for him. You know, he has a 6-figure income, and his outfits are very fancy, so he wastes money on clothes all the time that probably you guys pay. Do you really want to be helping this short guy with bizarre hair exist on the planet while all of you other people suffer? It's like, he was smart. He got it at 25. He knew it wasn't going to be pretty, and he's not even an OT8. So I don't understand why you guys are behind this guy who doesn't have to have anybody's intentions at heart except for himself and maybe LRH. And LRH really didn't like anything that was over the age of 25. So I don't understand why you're still hanging out there doing what you think is good work, and it's not. Because you don't help anybody in your community. You don't help your own people when they're old. Bunk beds at Big Blue for elderly people, that is just, how many people break their hips there? I mean, Kaiser's within walking distance. Do you have any kind of plan, or do you just use the, since it's an emergency room, they have to take you in, which they have to. Only emergencies have to be accepted at any hospital. So is that what you wait for, an emergency to happen, and then you just take them to the hospital down the street? That's not exactly a good thing to do, now is it? Okay, let me see, where am I? Amazon wish list. I actually thought about getting a P.O. box today because I had about an hour between my nails and coming to San Francisco. Yes, real churches food drive, and don't rent to the people that are food driving. That's got to be not a legitimate list because of all those beans and different kinds of rices. That's goofy. So they're all, and half of them are expensive things. Ah, good. Yes, help us all little people out. Because we need all the help we can get. And it's just like, I like how people are trying to make it unbecoming to accept money. I still have to work on my 1,000 and viewing time, and it's like, that may take another month, you know, and then by then I'll start, and who knows where we're going to be in a month. Hopefully everybody will still be as enthusiastic about this as we all are. It was hard this weekend. I think maybe myself was just telling me to calm down for a couple of days because the atmosphere was really just getting ugly. And weirdly enough, a protest site, Protest the Protesters site, actually convinced, you know, by what they were putting on and reading the chats, it was like, no, you know what, I need to come back out here. I need to start, you know, because it was like, if it's not fun, or what I call fun, it's just like doing good works and helping. That was a Porsche. Somebody took the muffler off the Porsche. Can you believe that? See? Distraction.
You're still.
So when I say fun, everybody's like, what? That's fun? And it's like, it's just the easiest word to describe. It's satisfying. So it's fun. What? Reread? I can't reread right now. It's sort of hard to keep going back. especially when my lettering is white. That's why I keep going back to the thing. Oh look, they got the rest of the okay, whoever posted that, thank you. I don't use real names unless somebody says it's okay, so I can't tell who even said it. I'll look at and make sure I can figure out who it is. But they even got, all that's left is a little bitty shadow of a T. Somebody came out and, or in the C, somebody finally came out and said, I can fix this. You know what I mean? Oh, what is this? Whatever this is, it feels. Oh no, that's underneath. So yeah, all they need to do is get the little thing off. I haven't used the pen, especially since last weekend, thinking, I carry it in my bag, but I don't use the pen because I don't feel like explaining to another policeman that it's chalk and that they're sending you just to intimidate me and make me go away. I'm sure they were not amused when I drove up today. I'm sure they were like, crap. I have got to start taking the opposite way though, so they can't see the car. I'm gonna have to be parking farther away. I liked parking here. Do you miss your friends? Do you miss your family? Do you miss your chosen friends and family? Not people you have to acknowledge in your club because these are the only people you have left because they have made you declare everybody else. Do you ever think that maybe the first person you declared was probably the person who could help you the most? You know, these people probably miss you, or they've learned to get you out of their mind, which in a weird way would be worse because then you don't exist. Wouldn't you like to exist as somebody out here and enjoy yourself? Or would you just be surrounded in your little Scientology bubble where everybody treats everybody the same? Because if they don't, they get a write-up. Isn't that weird? Just a little, maybe? And it's called a knowledge report. That should tell you, too, that they think knowledge is bad for you. That's what all cults do, is they try to convince you that knowledge is bad for you so they can take over and give you nothing but paranoia in return. Because now you're afraid to talk to anybody. And then you have to pretend that you're enjoying yourself. You know, of course they made psychiatry a bad thing because otherwise, if you weren't feeling good, you'd go to a psychiatrist and find out what's wrong with you. And they don't want that because it will be them that's wrong with you. So you have to think of it that way. Freaks. Sorry. I have to add the freaks. Papa Cat was very adamant about the freaks. So he loves it when I do that. Let's see. Yes, Janelle, it was feeling very danger out there. And it was happening across the country. So it's like, no, I don't want to play in that garden right now. Besides the fact that cop who comes up here, I wouldn't be surprised if he would have driven up and then driven away and said, there's only one person there. She's been called on before. She's fine. You know, sort of thing. Yes, Fuzz got it. So yeah, it's like, I don't want my tax dollars to do that. I wish they would start paying taxes. And Natalie, somebody sent Natalie the old Mason Lodge that was a furniture store, how they're going to start, excuse me, I even took my cough drop, how they were telling them that, you know, it's a historical building and they have to do something and they're going to be charged taxes. Of course, right now they said, oh, we're working on it as an update. Yeah, give it a month. It's like whoever lives out there, I can't remember where the heck it was. Minnesota? I am such a West Coaster. It's like, I don't know anything past Nevada. If that. It's like, that left my brain when I left school. But yeah, because they said they're working on, they're going to submit the plan. So they actually acknowledged it. And so we'll see if they really do, because when I first saw it, it was 6 months ago. And if I remember right, it was in a Scientology documentary. Going Clear was on Amazon before it was on Netflix. Everybody's talking about it on Netflix. And I was like, I must have missed something. And I started watching it, and I was like, wait a minute, I've seen this before. Hell, I've seen it twice. So it was on Amazon before. And if you've seen anything called Going Clear, that's what it is. It's that documentary. So, but go watch it if you haven't, because it's really interesting. I actually bought the Aftermath series right before they started pulling that crap on Aaron. And I mean, literally the week before. And I was like, crap, I just spent money buying this. Son of a boo. And it wound up being that, no, somebody said it this morning, I think on Natalie, said you can watch and see how messed up Render is. It's like, now I have to watch it again. And what was last night's documentary on? I can't remember. I hate this. Short-term memory gone to pot, I swear. Yeah, I know. Much less the capitals, because they're not, they're not major cities usually. When I was little, New York was New York, Did it that way. Chicago was Illinois, but you had to recite them in school, and so you learned. But then it would go immediately out of your head, and you'd start calling New York the capital again. So I think we all are, because it wasn't something that was brought up again and again, like math. So math and reading specifically were always brought up, and that's how, learned by repeating. But once you learn the 50 states, second grade, you didn't have to learn them again, It was like you're supposed to know where they are. Yeah, I watch mostly everyone I can get my paws on. YouTube, I used to do that at night, but YouTube might get to that place again where I could sit there on it all day. I couldn't before, because it was getting ugly. So I would just shy away from YouTube at night. That's why I don't get to watch late night chick besides Tori. I can't remember her name. I know Fuzz, you'll figure it out. The cruise person. Do you miss your friends? Do you miss your family? Do you miss your chosen friends and family? Don't you just drive you nuts when I keep saying that, because it makes you think? And I know thinking is something that's bad for you. They don't want you to think. They want you to be dumb and just make them money and then go from there. And then teach all this gobbledygook they call courses. So, I mean, you should not have to learn a new dictionary of words to understand what you're looking at. So the special speech you guys have probably confuses at least half of you, because unfortunately adults are not very good with learning a second language. I bet you guys don't have that in your list of stuff. I'm sure you guys get in trouble for not knowing half the things. That's why adults, you can learn a language, but it'll take twice as long as it does if you're a kid. And that doesn't mean be teaching these children things like that, because they have better things to do. Like build sandcastles and run up and down the street, or go hang out with their friends and play video games. They do not need to be pummeled with theology, which isn't really what I should say anyway, because that means you're a different kind of club rules. That's what it is. Hit with club rules and have to learn all of the interesting things that the club has, like the books you're supposed to read. And if you don't read them, you're going to get, in trouble. And then I guess they have the equivalent of grounding for children. So is that what you really want to do? I forgot to hairspray my bangs. See? Side note. So Do you really think children would like to be coming here? If a child says they like coming here, they're probably ignored a lot. So, unless you guys are letting them play instead of trying to teach them something, which would be nice. But if you guys are doing what you normally do to children and they say they want to come, BS. They're just doing it for their parents because their parents don't pay a lot of attention to them. So you got to think of things that way. And you don't want to be bringing up a few thugs because they're going to get radicalized because you're teaching them all of this. That's not healthy. And see, the ghosts agree with me because they're pulling back the shades and opening the doors again. So you don't want to be part of that. Trust me. It's not a guilt you want when you're old enough to be sent to the blue building and on a bunk bed that's 3 bunks high. You want to be able to exist in this world with people that you know in your old age, because unfortunately Scientology doesn't like you in your old age. They put you to the light janitorial or cafeteria things. You get thrown into the background because your brain doesn't matter anymore according to them. So do you really want to be just flotsam for them? Do you can try signing up and looking at online jobs if you're good at it.
Yeah.
People will hire you for more if you go to like Amazon Turk. They literally will start you in a 5-cent survey thing or get this receipt, figure it out. And they work from there. And if you're good at administrative, they would actually you would probably work yourself up to a real job. And if it's at your age, you don't think you'll get a job, that's bull. They don't care, especially if it's an online job, what your age is. So that's how you can change the system and not be thrown here and sat here like a zombie because they don't use you for anything anymore and you're not appreciated. They don't care. All they care about is the mighty dollar. So you have to think of it that way, freaks. Oh, look, it's my cop. Well, not my cop. My cop's name is Scott. And he's looking at me. And I just waved at him. Let's see. What am I missing? Chow Yun Smut. Yes. I actually love listening to her, but there are days, or most of the time now, is just like, I don't want to deal with any of it anymore. So let's see. I know we actually had a kids map game that we used to play with a friend of mine that we got at like Wales and Friends or something, and she used to come over to hang out and we play this goofy geography game that was the capitals of everywhere, and I can't believe I didn't retain any of it. I wonder if that was my slot. The cop who came by and just stared at me for a minute. I bet you that was. They're not going to waste their time with me. I am so frickin' not a threat to anybody. And he saw me like yelling at them, so. Ah, yes. Isn't he the one that also does Louis Theroux? Isn't he the one who also does Janelle Louis Theroux's My Scientology movie? Doesn't he do like small documentary type things too? Oh, good. You'll like Chow Yun Smut. She's fun. She reminds me of Carrie Ann, me. It's like the people who just sort of hang out and we do these other things and we talk about other things, stuff like that. Yes. Exactly. Not what they want. Oh, my husband doesn't even think about telling me what to do. He would just laugh. Because I'd come back with, oh, really? Oh, yeah, that's the thing. The older Sea Org people probably haven't even reached 4. And, have put their body, mind and body in this the whole time. Yeah, but not for older people. It gets sitting on your or standing on your feet a long time gets you, and I'm starting to learn that. I was pretty much out of my chair for most of yesterday or day before yesterday, and my legs really hurt and my ankles really hurt when I woke up the next day. I massaged them, used like massage tools on them last night, and they're doing a lot better, but they don't eat well either. So between that and standing at a burger place, probably gout. So yay, the link. Ah, that's awesome, Fuzz. Oh, okay, yeah, Janelle, yeah, I thought, because he's got like a whole bunch of them. I've watched a few of them because he's actually interesting, and he interviewed the major charity guy who wound up being a pedo, and sometimes I'm seeing that if you do a documentary, even if they're horrible people, if you do an in-depth documentary, you can really make your mind up about these people instead of going, oh, they suck because there's a pedo documentary around them. So I like the way he interviews people, and admits that he was wrong when it came up to that pedo guy, the famous one. So uh-oh, is that a Suburban? Could that be my truck? The guy who backed up and took pictures. Nope, it's got a number. My Suburban didn't have a livery number, so he probably borrowed it from his uncle or something. Let's see, am I missing anything? No, I was gonna say, Amazon Turk is where you get the online like deals that people want you to do something. For a while I was, I guess for captioning, professors who had heavy accents, because I'm like the accent queen for some reason. Oh, I don't know, I grew up in the East Bay, and mostly a lot of people I knew were from out of country, and the most fun I used to have was when I had a Ukrainian boyfriend and my aunt was Cockney. I used to literally have to translate between the two. It was hilarious. I was the stop in the middle because he had a heavy Russian accent. She was Cockney. Cockney is almost as bad as Scottish. So that was the fun one. And we all laughed our butts off about it because it was like, you know, I'm sure he would have gotten used to it if he was around more, but unfortunately it was only a couple of years. So Jimmy Savile, that's who he was. Yeah, talk about someone who got away with it for so long. And he didn't know when he first interviewed them. Oh my God. And basically waited until he died, because he had already been processed at that point. And it was really interesting and easy to see how he did it. So it was like you can legitimately make a sound like or dislike for him. And it's like people come up to you and go, oh, why are you doing that? And you can explain. Explaining is one of the coolest things to do. And when there are documentaries that actually go farther than just the judge and jury crap, it gets interesting. You can talk about it and, you know, make people learn things, or not make people, they'll learn things by accident. With my manicurist, because I'm like mama cat for the salon. Well, actually, I'm mama cat for the owners. They laugh at me, or the owners of the salon, and they are just like, you're mama cat, and I'm like, yes, ma'am. So I've helped them along, and my manicurist today said she learned something for today, and it's like, wow, I didn't even think about that. I need to start putting something to learn. What do you guys would like to know? Just like, thank you, PETA. Like I said, feeling better. I've got old lady drugs now, or middle-aged lady drugs. Yes, which is bizarre because it was Johnny Rotten, and he was just a freaking mess. the whole time he was with the Sex Pistols, but he knew. It's like instinctually. That's what it was about him. Instinctually, he knew. So he probably didn't like this world, and that's why he overdosed, because it was not what he wanted. And I do not condone any kind of overdosing or jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge, which somebody made a documentary about. I've only seen it once, because the last person who jumps off the bridge was a Rocky Horror friend. Oh my god, that's so cute. The front of that looked like a Rolls Royce. So a friend of mine said, have you seen it yet? Because it was, of course, in the theaters here, the little theaters. And I was like, no, not, why? And he goes, and she goes, don't. And I'm like, why don't? She goes, because someone we know does the last jump. And I'm like, maybe I don't know him, because it was a Rocky Horror person, and she was in a different Rocky Horror than me. And I knew him. So I've seen it once. Oh god, yeah, KT PETA. Yeah, they thought Johnny Rotten was a mess. He was a mess, but he wasn't a messed up mess. I know that sounds weird. But yeah, so whatever the documentary is, it's about people jumping off the bridge. And a lot of people had a problem with it, because why didn't he call the police or something when he saw someone sitting on the ledge? Well, this was before all this. So it was like 15, 20 years ago, where they didn't have stuff like this. So he was just filming, not doing the watch. Still a little weird. It's very strange watching people jump off the bridge you're near. But not even getting, like, putting up pictures and seeing if anybody recognizes them. I wonder how many people know someone that jumped off that bridge that's in that documentary. It's so weird. And yes, one of these days I will have somebody make a biography of me. Aha, that's cool, KT PETA. Your friend has a band. So, that's the weird part about living in the Bay Area. You know way too much and have too many connections to people. So what do you want to do today? Are you having to do the push to help you for tomorrow? Excuse me. Do you have to, like, make more or have more people call and make money from today for tomorrow? Or do you start it when you come in tomorrow? So do you have your nose to the grindstone to make all the cash you can get your paws on? Because if you don't, you'll get in trouble. Well, you know, your Sea Org guy is not exactly the best guy in the world to rely on either. So I haven't seen his car here for a couple of days. But I haven't been here for a couple of days. I mean, I don't see his car today. He probably should be here, but he's too busy tearing up his ramps and things for skateboards in San Leandro, because he had to close his company overnight. Because he doesn't know how to manage his money. Now, is that what you want as a, Sea Org captain in your organization? Is someone who doesn't know how to do their own finances and who left his ramp place for over a year and thought it would just carry on without him because he had other skaters working there, and he said to keep an eye out but didn't really emphasize it. So they really know what they were doing. Think about that. Think about that. He runs your org now. And is he doing any better now? Or does he even bother to tell you guys that you need to keep on a certain record or something every day? Or does he just come in tomorrow and start yelling because, you haven't made your quota or anywhere near your quota? That's not exactly a good person who takes care of the people in his org. But traditionally, Scientology does not care about people in their org. So I would recommend that you cut bait, come out, join the real world, fix your credit, get a job. And everybody at any age should get a job as long as your brain's functioning. It really doesn't matter. You can get a virtual job nowadays and make money. So you should try something like that and try getting out of there, because it's not healthy for you. And when you're really disabled, they'll just take you to the blue building so you can, like, you know, rest in peace for the rest of your time and them not doing anything for you. Freaks. So, oh, another helicopter. I wonder what that means. That's the weird part. When you hear a helicopter when you shouldn't be hearing one, you know it's weird. South City, when we lived in South San Francisco, we were in the flight path. So if we ever heard a helicopter, we knew something was up. So, oh my God, what am I missing? Yes, Fuzz, it is disturbing and sad. And of watching the movie, I think it's called The Bridge. And yeah, what I think is worse is the fact that the last guy is someone you know, which means that he knew about 50 people because it was Rocky Horror. So I just sat there with my mouth wide open and just turned it off because he's the last guy, and just went never again. So let's see, Janelle. My Scientology movie has footage of actual fairground. Yes. 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 I know. I don't know which one I like better, is the words with the pictures, the animated ones, or the ones with people who play other people. I think they're all sort of fun. Yes, of course. Get those stats up. Thursday's coming. Yes, the documentary is called The Bridge. And actually, one of my morning DJs had a tally of people jumping off the bridge. He actually got in trouble for it because they said that it was promoting jumping off the bridge. It's like, no, it wasn't. It was still morbid, but that was part of his thing, so his shtick. Because also, it, like, in a weird way, it got people a lot more aware. And since even around here, the best place to jump is the Golden Gate Bridge, that, you know, people would talk about it. You know, it's 50 now, blah, blah, blah. And the Golden Gate Bridge district got their lawyer to serve him with a subpoena, but it was like, bull. Yes, I saw that. I heard that this morning. I know. I was like, oh my God, that's so cool.
Literally talking about this yesterday.
Someone took a picture to talk about Scientology. Not the good way either. That's good. I actually didn't see her at first. Her friend was wearing, I could call it French vanilla, and a satin dress. It was really cool. And her hair matched. Oh my God. Now that's a woman I want to be friends with. It sounds weird, but wow, the dress was incredible. Her hair is incredible. But it was her friend, who had an incredible tattoo, was talking about, you know, I've heard about this and I've heard about that. And when she walked away, I waved at her. I don't even think empathy is on the scale. And that's my biggest problem, is I've got the empathy streak big time. I can read people by accident. Yes. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe, please. It would be nice. I've got whole 13 people here, which for me, that's a good day. So, yeah, so I think seriously that the policeman who I made eye contact with, who was staring at me, was probably my micro SWAT. I don't see any more police callers. They usually don't come around here. So when they do come around here, it's like, oh, what's been going on? And there was one parked, I guess, having lunch. And I'm like, God, I haven't even gotten out of my car yet. So, no paranoia here. That's all they seem to do, is make you paranoid. So we should probably walk to the back and I can check the door. How many times are we going to have to send it in? We did Sunday night too. Eventually they're going to get a fire inspector. That comes all the time. I hope so. I hope they're just as fanatic as their previous brethren were. My joke is they're going to get a crazy fire inspector that's a legacy. Somebody's kid. Yeah, but it's harder to do that. You're going to get cooties! Someone just went inside. I actually heard people talking about the ones who used to go over Niagara Falls in barrels and lived, you know, on purpose, that it's a little hard to do. So, because of the current. So it's like, how far up would you have to go? And then you'd have way too much time to think. Most of these are spur of the moment. So I don't know of many people who have come who, actually that's a lie. They plan. I forgot. Still locked. Okay. I think they actually said it on the bridge that some people do come here just to jump, and that's even worse. It's there, and it's almost. This has been here for a month now, I think, and it's just a transparent
it's not
post-it
part of
note.
the EU. I had to check that.
Maybe I should start making new ones. Because for some reason I thought I was doing them on the opposite side, but I'm not. And if I use a Sharpie, a real Sharpie. Yeah, see, it doesn't even take the paint off. Hopefully they'll take it down finally. It looks sort of pathetic there. I'm not taking it down. Ah, cool, Janelle. Yes, we lived in South City. Well, he lived there 30 years. I lived there 16, which is really weird because I like the sun, and I saw climate change in real time. So saw the rolling clouds of fog turn into nothing. The last year we were there, which was 20 something, didn't even have it. I missed that. That I loved. I loved watching the fog go down the hill because we were almost at the top. And it was like when it finally started changing, it was like, okay, you don't believe in climate change? Come here. You should have done a picture every year because you can see the climate turn from big rolling pieces of fog to nothing. So it used to come invade the rest of, come over the hill, go across the bay. Never makes it there. So yes, that has been there a long time. Thanks, Suki. Don't make me laugh. Yeah, and they don't notice it. I hope I've got a silver Sharpie now. Maybe they'll notice that. I don't want to. I'll wait till tourist season is over before I start doing the chalk again, because I don't want to distract from the police during tourist season, which is more important. It's like that, and I would have more time to go, this is my tax dollars at work. They don't have a lot of time to stick around and talk to me either. So, not that I give them a chance to talk back. So, let's see. It's like the opening line every time. Do you miss your friends? Do you miss your family? Are you going to run away from the front door if I start talking again because you know I'm right, unfortunately? I don't like being right here. I would rather be completely and utterly wrong. I would like to be made fun of because I was wrong. But I'm not, unfortunately. You guys sit in there and have to make money for a man who only cares about himself. And then he teaches you guys how to care only about yourself. And then there are people who don't get a chance to be cared for because they have grown out or grown up or anything, and they're not normal. The older people are definitely afraid to even leave, which they probably could because they're probably family members that would still like to see them. And if the older people told about their conditions, yeah, maybe that's what they should do, is get a bunch of older people out so they can explain their conditions and get them out from one place like the Blue Building because then all of these stories would match because they're all real. Real stories, you can ask the weirdest question and it'll be the same way if 2 people, 3 people suffered in the same way. So they can't all be crazy. They can't all be misguided. I'm sure the older people are beyond miffed and terrified because they didn't learn anything that could be useful. And they're afraid you guys are going to just farm them out. Maybe you should farm out the older people. Get a hold of their families. Then you guys wouldn't have to pay for them. Except that you would probably want a freeloader tax when they left. Even though they aren't any good to you either. Do you ever think about that? Sending those people back to their own people. That way you wouldn't have to deal with them. And don't ask for the freeloader because then you can do anything you want. Get new people. Train more kids. Now that's a horrible thing to do too, but hey, when you guys get your tax status revoked, then we can talk about that one. Freaks. Whose hat? Moose. Micro SWAT. Yes, that's what I had last week. I had one guy, one cop, come over, talk to him. I even said, I think it has cops in the title. I'm not sure, because he was looking around across the street, and I said, "Are you looking for me?" And he walked up, and he went, "I think so." And I said, "Is it because of this?" And I pointed to the truck, and he said, "Yeah." And I'm like, the wash is off, so I'm not very good at hiding myself from the authorities. Probably helped me in the end because then I am not a threat. And I don't know what they said. They didn't tell me, or he didn't tell me. But yeah, that was, Papa Cat said it was a micro SWAT. So, thanks, Suki. Moose. It's sort of like, I've even gotten into the Natalie, because she's actually streaming when I'm awake. So it's like, I've gotten to the Natalie, I just wanted to say in the chat, throw him, throw him, throw him. When she's holding little Davy, I was like, throw him, throw him. I think everybody does that now. So, yeah, I know, isn't, weird going, Janelle said barreling over Niagara Falls was the kind of ish people did before the internet. You guys can see the screen, you can figure it out. My interpreting skills are a little down right now. So, but yes, doing it for fun. But also children went outside and played and learned how to get balance. It's like, if you don't allow your child to fall down and get hurt because the internet is around, you got issues. If you don't know who the other children are in your neighborhood, you've got issues. So, yeah, summer camps outside, and if you're of a lower pay grade, you can go through like the Girl Scouts or the Boy Scouts, or if the city holds summer camps, it's like sliding scale completely. But the outside thing, I think kids should be outside. Besides the cops, we got lucky, but that was junior high school. From 0 to 6 was, yes. Yep, Peta sounds just like a true Gen Xer. But before that, we had everybody around. Some were renting. A lot of our parents owned the houses. We actually had, we call them totally derivative name, but project housing, which was 2 apartment buildings down the street, and everybody played together. It didn't matter. Our parents didn't necessarily like us, but they didn't stop us from playing with each other. So it was like, and then if it got dark and it was summertime, there was a parent or 2 sitting on the porch watching us, having a good old time, talking with maybe the other parents or talking with their partner as they watched us like run up and down the street and get as tired as we possibly could. Best way to like wear down a child during the summertime, get them to run around all over the place, and then they will go to bed. So I was lucky I didn't have to go to bed before 9. So, do you miss your friends? Do you miss your family? Do you miss the people that you've been declared about? You know, if the first person who was declared was probably the most important person in your life. So, wouldn't you rather be here and out here and enjoying your life? It's the tour guide. He's right behind me. I'm listening. Sorry. I should go on a tour with him one of these days to see what other things I can learn. He's talking about banking. BOFA. BOFA was started here. The building you see in the Towering Inferno was the Bank of America building. So yeah, he was talking about banking. So he's probably talking about this building, since it was Transamerica. Yeah, on the West Coast, we had a bunch of bankers here. That's why we have a financial district. I think Charles Schwab started here too. BOFA, Wells Fargo, Transamerica. It's like whoever had a bigger building in the 70s and 80s started here. So there was the BOFA building, Transamerica building. I don't think Wells Fargo had a... No, it's got to. It's got to. I just haven't found it. So, oh God, yes, Suki. We used to do goofy things like that too. Like the cactuses that had like the not flower, but like the leaves that you could break open and rub everywhere. Talk about getting in trouble for that one. Did it on the sides of our houses, and me and the next door kids got in trouble for that because I guess it's acid and it makes it really ugly. So yeah, things like that. My parents kept me in the house until noon on summer days, and that's why I hate redwood furnishings, I guess you'd say. The house we got had redwood, like everything. So it had a mantle and a secretary and a china cabinet, all of the, it had redwood flooring, and it was a way to keep me in the house. Once I got done cleaning the house or picking it up, because, you know, you can only really clean it once in a while, because after that, if you're so constant on it, you just pick it up. So I watched it because Letterman was in the morning, 10:30 to 12. This is how far back. Yes, David Letterman had a morning show. If I did everything, I would try to do everything before Letterman came on and then go outside and play. Well, I also get along with the policemen because I have a friend who's a policeman who I didn't get to see at the barbecue. Usually he goes to the barbecue. He didn't show up. So maybe he was working, maybe got a girlfriend, who knows. So my micro swatter, like I said, was nice and probably felt really goofy. He took my pen in, I think, if I remember right. He took my pen and he asked it, because I keep it in my purse, and he asked me about my pen, and I said, here. So I know, I'd love to make a pin. I swatted a Scientology protester. So they could put it like, you know, somewhere to hide, or take it home or something, you know, or even a tie tack that said I swatted a Scientology protester. Oh, here are guys yelling out of a Mercedes, and I bet you at their age they're probably rolling around their dad's Mercedes and he doesn't know. So yeah, just even like, I'm trying to think, I have to think of something that would make it like I swatted and somebody would know if you're like got that pin on a leather jacket or something. You know, or even a week ago I swatted Scientology and didn't get arrested. Yeah, I know. We should, like, Janelle, if you could think of something, that would be hilarious. Yeah, it was because, yeah, I've not been arrested. There are a few people who have not been arrested. So it's like, I just get micro swatted. Exactly. Exactly, Janelle. Oh, heck yeah. You knew every kid in a 3-block radius and their older siblings. Yes, because their older siblings would also, if they were hanging out and doing something that was outside, the siblings would watch you. And they were worse than the parents. That was the thing. Your older brother or sister was always worse than the parents. And they'd call you out, make funny faces at you, and then, like, you know, run away. The drinks out of the hose. Janelle said if we came home before the street lights flicked on, it was to ask Dad to help us fix our bike tires or get a drink out of the hose. Yeah, do you know how freaking dangerous getting a drink out of a hose must have been? They're real rubber, probably very slightly like mixed or something. Our age was probably swallowing asbestos everywhere. So I am amazed that our generation has made it this far. So, I mean, now I live somewhere interesting. Not yet. You don't want to go in there. They've got cooties. You'll never come out. They'll charge you $35 for a book. Scientology.
$35 for a book?
Oh, well, they'll get you in. They'll keep you for a couple hours watching videos, and then they'll pawn off the Dianetics book on you. Yeah, it's not fun. And then you keep paying them all kinds of money till you hit like their high levels.
Well, I don't want to watch videos.
Uh-huh. See?
Plus, I'm a Christian, so.
Ah, then definitely no. Have a good one. The intersection again. I know, our parents must have really enjoyed not having us around all the time, and especially if it wasn't their turn, because I don't think the parents got together and make turns. It was just whoever was out there at the time, whoever got stuck when the lights went on. And it's like the rest of the parents must have been happy because you had all of these hyperactive children like playing their brains out, so when they came home they could have half an hour to, I guess, take a bath and then go to bed. And most of us, I'm the only one who stayed up because I was just hyperactive. So I used to make fun of my cousins because they had to go to bed before the sun went down. They had to be in bed at 8:30 when they were younger, and I used to make fun of them because I would sit out in the living room with my aunt and uncle because I didn't have to go to bed until I wanted to. And that was a problem for my cousins. So, and it's hard to explain to, was it 9 and 11-year-old, or as the word, they're 3 and 5 years older. Thank you. You two are hilarious. Yeah, it was hard for them to do that because as I got older, I could stay up as long as I want. Well, actually, ever since I could read, I got to stay up as long as I wanted because I had to read. If I wanted to stay up, I had to stay in bed. So I stayed up and sat in bed and read everything. Yeah, there was that one. The first guy did. The first cops did. They said, we promote free speech. And they were very much into telling me that. And so I think their first cops were just not into this, me getting quote unquote in trouble. So that was the time when they'd come rushing out with that paper, you know, all the bad things you've done. And it was crap. So they came, and it came with pen markings. It wasn't even like printed up. It was all written out probably real fast because it was an hour, I think, that they showed up. So you know how it is. Yeah, but no, I was thinking, I swatted free speech, or I kept free speech alive and all I got was a stupid pen. So what are you going to do on this beautiful day? Put your nose to the grindstone and make phone calls to spend all people's money. That isn't exactly the best thing to do. What if these people need their money? Do you care? I'm sure the little one doesn't. So do you feel good about having to do this every week because you got to keep your numbers up? Is it something that embarrasses you? Do you tell people that you're in Scientology? Do you tell people how much money you've spent so far? I mean, you can't have absolutely everybody in Scientology as a friend when you're a public. You know, do people see you on videos? Have people become interested who didn't know what you were doing and accidentally came across a Scientology video that shows your face? You know, people who sit on YouTube will watch the weirdest things all day long, and I would know. So what do you do when somebody comes up to you and asks you if you're a Scientologist? Or mentions Xenu. I heard he got out earlier than he used to. So you guys get to find out about him earlier because we tell you all about him. Yeah, think about it. We're all descended from people who come from a out of this world prison. What makes you guys so special? You're still there like us because nobody gets clear, do they? That's what sort of depresses most of the OT8s. And I have to keep talking to this because it's loud enough that it can be used as a copyright infringement, and I don't want it to be that way. And now I'm walking away from it because we found out with the, I can't remember who the name was, Roberta Flack, because I was like enjoying it and they cut me off as a copyright violation. Okay, now we're walking up the street. I can't hear them. Peeling the paint. I never ate paint. I was glad because yeah, that paint even had freaking chemicals that are outlawed in the whole world now. So yes, you're becoming a good Gen Xer here with the history of all of our toxins. Yeah, it's like I'm so glad Natalie mentioned this, the ugliness of, you know, the org and how they're not even cleaning it. Look at this. This is a new one I've discovered. There's all that dust and stuff that actually should be cleaned up. They should be here and cleaning up, you know, pride. There's no pride in this building. See all that dust and dirt there? I mean, this one was bad enough because, you know, it's on the I'm not sure what this is because this is a marble veneer and this can't be, it might be pieces of real marble then because that under the paint, because of course somebody painted it probably in the 80s, it feels like marble. So this may be the marble part. You know, they were bankers in the Edwardian / Gilded Age, so that can really be marble. But yes, it's like these are the things I want to do. I'm going to take a magic eraser to the wrought iron, and then I want to come here and clean this. Just because I'm ADD, ADHD, hyperkinetic. I was borderline hyperkinetic as a kid, but it's just like I want to clean this. If you'd seen my closet, you would understand. So it's just like I want to clean this up so much. Could you picture me being arrested for cleaning? I would love that. See, I didn't put any hairspray on my bangs and my new extensions, which are rainbows going down instead of like individual rainbow colors. Because who gets her extensions done on before Pride weekend? Me. And my hairdresser has a lot of people who would be using Pride extensions. So these were lucky. I think this was like one of the last ones. So 3 days before Pride weekend. So, okay, let's go here. Ready, set, go. Do you wish you knew how much you owe to the world? You know, you can find out what your debt is if you go looking up your credit score, or if you have money in a bank somewhere. I'm sure that a bank executive would help you find out about your own history. You have to be able to ask, because you get to find out what you owe, what you own, and how you can fix these things, because usually attached to those reports it says you can get a hold of XXY call their number and start working on it. So what you want to do is go to the main library and find these things out, which you can do. All you have to do is type, how do I find out what I own? And that might be a good starter, because you never know if your name might be somewhere. Because if you're not getting your financial information sent to here, your mailing address, or if this isn't your mailing address yet, and the W-2 is being sent to Scientology for the Sea Org people, that's a little illegal, and that's a federal offense. So if you've lived here longer than 3 months, your real address is already supposed to be in the system. So you need to find out what's going on, because I've heard that they're starting to use people's names for bad things, allegedly. So you would like to know what you own on your credit cards, because from what I heard also is that they're maxing out your credit cards every time they need more money from you. They just say, oh, we got it from your credit card, which I don't understand how you can have a freeloader debt if you're giving them money already, unless it's all considered a donation that has nothing to do with your debt. That would be weird. So you need to go to the main library, not in any of the clothes that you wear here, so they can't track you, because tracking devices are very easy now. So you go to the main library, you go on the browser, you look up your name and look up all the things you possibly can about you. People Finder, whatever. If you have a spare $35, that's usually what they cost. And they could start building about, hell, your address may be your parents' address and they just never changed it. Even though your W-2 needs to find you. So maybe it goes to Los Angeles and they send it here in like an overnight pack or something. So you definitely need to get on the ball about these things, because you don't want them haunting you until you're older. And you're not making anything from Social Security for being a volunteer, as they call it, or as the Sea Org member you might. So if you don't have a second job, you will not be getting any kind of Social Security credit for this job, because it's considered a volunteer. Freaks, they never turn the boombox down when I talk about that. That is funny. They will turn it on for anything else. Oh God, what did I miss? Yes, the asbestos insulation. I know. We had a popcorn ceiling at the other house, and we wanted to remove it. And somebody said that could just be asbestos sealed ceiling with paint. And it was going to cost at least $2,000 to remove it. And it would be really complicated, because then they would have to like tell the neighbors and probably get the whole fourplex, because it was a fourplex, get the whole fourplex like cleaned out, and we'd have to be responsible for housing these people doing it. It takes about 2 or 3 days. And it was just like, leave the ceiling as it is, because it was painted, sealed at least 2 or 3 times. And it was just like, oh my God. It's like, I used to eat that stuff probably when I was a kid. And they always say that lower income neighborhoods had more asbestos. I doubt that, honestly, because the asbestos insulation was everywhere. I think what it is they're exposed to more of it, because when people change things, like landlords, they don't care. So that's how it happens, is that they're exposed to more chemicals than everybody else. So because since they don't keep up things, they have to like break in walls to do things, and that exposes the asbestos. And the lead paint, it's like, oh, they never paint their windows like these guys. So it's like lead paint, more exposure. So that's what I think the way it is. So oh my God, I'm at hour 19. Why didn't anybody tell me? It was like the cats on Monday. They didn't tell me they were hungry. Oh my God, that's so funny, Janelle. From propagating. Hyperkinetic. You know, hyperactive? Go up 1. That's what a hyperkinetic is. Because they do like me. I slept 3 hours a night if I was lucky. So, and they're usually, you know, there are the crazy maniacal, usually overly smart children. And I think we're overly smart because we won't have to read things. I wouldn't be surprised. The problem is that disability takes forever. I tried disability because of the anxiety, and they interviewed like my family, and I didn't get the refusal for 6 months. A friend of mine had it. Unfortunately, he was a junkie and he was homeless, and he got a lot of things, like his whole system was messed up. He has a job because after 4 years, they said it would be another year. So, but at that point, he had a lot of things like cleared up for him. Yep, the ADD crew. Yay, it was Fat Grammy, okay. And I was going to say, and Fuzz will put it up. Yeah, so it's really complicated, at least in California. No, he lives in Oregon now. In California and Oregon is very, very complicated to get disability. And I think his biggest problem is that both of his parents were dead. So it we'd ask occasionally, because sometimes it would be an angry response, because it's, they pay, they will pay for everything. And he would get fat and he'd go, "Do you think I'm on disability?" And he'd rub his tummy. So, because he was on speed. So the type that eats all your teeth and everything else. Yeah. So he got, I'm sorry, I'm just looking, there's like a group, I think they're trying to figure out where to go. So yeah, it took him forever to get disability. So, because he couldn't go on the dole, a friend of mine did, a lot faster than that. So, he's gone to a lot of therapy from other places, and he can handle it at work, but he's just not very social. They probably think he's the quiet weirdo because he gets overwhelmed really easily. And I think he's working like back room of a Home Depot or something. So anyway, it's 1:22 people, and I have 8 people still. Wow, that's incredible. I love being thankful for little bitty things like this. In a way, I want it to always be this way, but well, thank you. She should know. I'm pointing at the Transamerica building, and I'm about to say a moose and squirrel will be photoshopped up there eventually. So yes, we're starting to call all our moose fuzzies moose. It's funny, and we've got a ton of moose. So okay, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I will be here at 2 o'clock. So ciao, Bellas.